Welcome to Fundamentals of Piano Theory, Level 3. In this video, we're going to go over Units 5 through 8. Units 5 is all about intervals of the scale. Nothing particularly truly new here. They do highlight a little bit more on what we call perfect intervals. Remember that intervals are inverses of themselves and add up to 9. So a perfect fourth and a perfect fifth are an inverse of each other. You can take a perfect fourth, invert it, put the C on top, and you get a perfect fifth. You can take a perfect fourth, invert it, put it in the C on top, and you get a perfect fifth. Remember that odd intervals match. They're both line-line or space-space. And even intervals do not match. So if the number of the interval is even, it's a line and a space, or a space and a line. If it's odd, they're either line-line or space-space. So on page 22, we're writing in all of our intervals from a second up through an octave in the key that they've given us. You shouldn't have to make any alterations because they've given you your key signature. In part 2, we're identifying the intervals that they gave us, which are harmonic intervals because they come at the same time. And in part 3, we're doing the same thing with melodic intervals. Second page, same thing. Now they give you an important bit of information here. They tell you to think of the lowest note of each interval as the tonic note or the key note. So here we're thinking, okay, we're in F major. F to D is a major sixth. Here we're thinking that we're in D major. D to F sharp is a major third. Okay, so this should just be major intervals or perfect intervals. Number 5, they've given us the interval they want. We just need to put the note in. Now here, again, we need to consider the bottom note as the key we're in. If we're in the key of D, D has two sharps, F sharp, C sharp. So if they want a third, that's going to require that we put an F sharp there. So don't forget to put in the accidental for the sharps of your key signature for whatever key the bottom note is. And then on part 6, we're identifying intervals in a piece of music. A, D, E, F, B, C. And that ought to do it for Unit 5. Going on to Unit 6, it's a review on triads. Hopefully you remember the definitions, but if you don't, I'll go over them real quick. Here's my major triad. A major triad is made up of a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top. I like to break that down into half steps. So a major third is 4 half steps on the bottom, and a minor third is 3 half steps on the top. So if we look at our keyboard here, first note, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my major third. First note, 1, 2, 3 on the top. So I have a major third on the bottom and a minor third on the top, and that makes a major triad. Now a minor triad is just the opposite of that. It has a minor third on the bottom, and my major third is on the top. So I have my 3 half steps on the bottom, 4 half steps on the top. Now, from minor, we get diminished. To diminish something or someone, we make them smaller. So we're going to take our 4 half steps and turn that into a 3 half steps. So we're going to have a minor third on the bottom and a minor third on the top. And that will equal 3 half steps and 3 half steps. Okay, from major, we can augment. If we augment something, we make it bigger or larger. And so an augmented triad is a major third on the bottom and a major third on top, giving us 4 half steps on the bottom and 4 half steps on the top. So those are your formulas for all the 4 types of triads: augmented, major, minor, and diminished. So back on page 24, they're asking you to identify major and minor triads. An easy way to do this is to draw a piano. And if you don't know how to draw a piano, here's how you draw a piano. Down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, down, over, up, down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, big space, down, over, up, down, over, up, down, over, up. And we can keep doing this for as many keys as you want. Then in the middle of these black keys, you draw a line straight down. In your big spaces, you draw a long line straight down. And you have to make the sound or it doesn't count. Okay, so in this example, we have a D, an F, and an A. So D, F, and A. So first note, 1, 2, 3. Second note, 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks like a minor triad. Now I could have done it here on my fancy piano, but I wanted to show you how you can do it in any situation. If you have a little bit of room on a piece of paper, you can draw a piano and figure out your answers. This can also be helpful for part 2, where you have to draw a major triad. Okay, so here's my F. I know I have to go 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get A. And I have to go 3, 1, 2, 3 to get C. So I can figure out my major triad. So that should do it for that page. Going on, we have excerpts of music from real decomposing composers. And we're just identifying what kind of triads we have there. And then we review the augmented triad. Remember, that's 4 half steps and 4 half steps. Our book does it a little different. They find a major triad, and then they raise the top note a half step. That's another way of doing it. So they want you to write out the augmented from the major. And then they want you to identify in part 6 whether it's a major or an augmented triad. 7 just gives you a piece that has both. Page 27 does the same thing from minor to diminished. And they lower their top note a half step to get diminished. So they want you to write in the diminished triad, lowering the top note 1/2 step. And they want you to identify minor or diminished triads in part 9. Part 10 is just an example of a piece that uses minor and diminished chords or triads. On to Unit 7, reviewing our triads and inversions. Remember that if they are all stacked line, 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 or space, 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 we are in root position. If Olaf loses his head, we are in first inversion, and if Olaf loses his butt, we're in second inversion. So we are just writing out our triads. Don't forget to give me the accidentals. Don't give me a key signature. I want accidentals. Taking the bottom note, putting it an octave higher, keeping the other two notes the same, including my sharp sign. That got a little messy. And then we're going to do it one more time. Bottom note up an octave, including my accidental. The other notes stay the same. Okay, that's it for page 28. Page 29 is reviewing again first and second inversions. The book breaks it down by intervals. So a first inversion triad has a third on the bottom and a sixth outer shell. There's my third, there's my sixth. A second inversion has a fourth on the bottom and a sixth outer shell. It's just another way of thinking of it. So we're naming the root of the first inversion triad. Now this is tricky because we could be talking about the root of the chord, which is our third, or we could be talking about the root of the triad, the A flat major triad, which is not on the bottom, but on the top. So be careful, don't get confused by the terminology. They want us to name the root of the actual triad, not of the given chord. So in the first inversion triads, the roots of the triad are on the top. So we're identifying those. And in second inversion, the root of the triad is actually in the middle. So don't get confused of the root of the actual chord given versus the chord of the triad that is in an inversion. Part 4, we're drawing out triads that they've given us. And part 5, we're naming the root of the key and whether or not we're in first or second inversion. And that is page 29. Finally, Unit 8 is talking about primary triads. There are what we call diatonic triads for a major scale. What we've done is we've taken a major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and we've played them in triads. You'll notice in my Roman numerals, I have capital triads, capital Roman numerals under 1, 4, and 5. That is because these chords are major. major third on the bottom, minor third on top. 2, 3, and 6 are minor, minor third on the bottom, major third on the top, and 7 is diminished, minor third on the bottom and minor third on the top. So primary triads are 1, 4, and 5. So this should be a review for you. We've done this previously, so we're writing out primary triads in the given key, just like they did here in the example. Now, primary triads in minor are different. Okay, so in minor, our primary triads, 1, 4, and 5, they're minor triads, but the dominant we raise our scale degree 7 to make this a harmonic minor scale. I've also done that on the 7. I can do it on the 3, but it's very rare to find. And when I do that, it becomes an augmented triad, but you don't need to know that for today. So we're going to have a lowercase 1, a lowercase 4, a raised 5. We're going to raise scale degree 7 here. In this case, it becomes a G sharp. Sometimes it might become a natural sign, or sometimes it might become a flat. So depending on what key we're in. Okay, so we are writing out what key are we in? 2 flats for minor. That's G minor. Now remember, we got to raise our scale degree 7. So that F is going to become an F sharp. And there's my answer. Okay, so finish that up, page 31. And that will do it for this video. We've done Unit 5, Unit 6, Unit 7, Unit 8. So please get those uploaded for me to grade. Thank you.